Hi, I'm Patrick Newman. This week I'm going to be going over how to get your start in your career in film. I've been working professionally for about 6 years now as a camera operator and about a year and a half to 2 years as a cinematographer. Now, when I first started out, I was just operating for athletics and broadcast, and now I'm doing commercials and documentaries, which I love, hands down. And I decided to really do the vlog because I did a talk about a year ago for the Also sisters, who are great professors up at the University of Utah, my alma mater, where I graduated. And I kept getting these Instagram messages or Facebook messages from students asking me how to get started in film. And each time they would say, like, I'm trying to break in, I want to become a filmmaker, I want to get into the industry, into Salt Lake. And I kept noticing each of them kind of had the exact same issue, was that they said that they have this really intense desire to be in film, but they didn't have the time. Now, a lot of them worked at GameStop or kind of that average college job where it kind of became time constraining, and they wouldn't be able to go take off time to go work on a film set and make some money, but not a ton of money. And this is kind of the way that I see where most people fall, and they never actually take that first step into film, is that if you're working at a coffee shop or if you're working at, GameStop or any of those college type of jobs, you're not going to be working in film, you're going to be working at GameStop. Simple enough, right? But what kind of ended up happening is that I would give these kids a call and I'd say, hey, I've got a PA position that pays X amount of dollars, will you please come out and work for me and get your chance in film? And every single time they'd have to say no, or they would say yes, and then they'd cancel on me, and I'd never call them back. Now, I know making money in college is an absolute necessity. That way you can pay for rent, go out on dates, do all the fun college things, but you have to remember that if you want a job in film where you're freelance and independent contractor on every single set, on every single job, you need to be available. Now, that might mean you go take a job full-time or part-time just with like your college campus athletics or the PBS station or some other type of media outlet on your campus. That way that you can get introduced to other people that are professionals and other people that can groom you and tell you where to go look for work. They can also often refer you to people that they know. Now, that's one of the most important things that you'll do starting out, is just work a bunch of different places. That's how you start gaining a resume. That's how you start gaining a reputation. That's how people will get to know you. Now, the biggest mistake that I see people make is that they show up to a company, like a production company, and say, hey, I want to become your director. Why do you get to be the director? Do you have the experience to be a director? Okay. Well, why would you get the director job when I'm the director? That type of mentality. If somebody else is putting up the money, going out and finding the clients, why would they just hand it over to you? You haven't earned it yet. That's one way that a potential job creator or somebody that could hire you will just dismiss you right away. They will think that you have no idea what you're talking about, and you will not get that job. You will not work for them. So when I was in college, I found a job working video for the University of Utah Athletics, which then led me to be a freelance camera operator for the Pac-12 network. And then from there, ESPN, Fox Sports, and then from there, I went to a part-time job up at KUED. And then from there, I left and started becoming a producer at a company here in Utah. Now, recently, I've left that job to be an independent contractor as a cinematographer, which I've never looked back and been more happy with my decision. But this is the thing. Those first jobs were the key. If I did not take the time to do those jobs and just keep working at like a coffee shop, Beans and Brew, Starbucks coffee, whatever, I would just be a barista. I would not have the work experience that I need to go out and find clients or to go out and work. You need to have the experience. You need to put in the time and the hours in the front as a PA, as a lowly videographer, just doing whatever you can to be behind a camera and always shooting to make a living. That is always the goal, is to shoot to make a living throughout college, throughout the rest of time. Because the second that you stop is the second that you start losing ground. The other question that I think you should ask yourself is, how do I make experience? By doing passion projects. Go do mock commercials, mock testimonials, go do vlogs like I'm doing here, because I think this is a great way to work on lighting, which is what I am using this for. The other thing that you can do are documentaries. Documentaries are huge to work on. They are a ton of fun, and you learn a ton, and eventually you can become passionate enough, and you can figure out a way to monetize those documentaries. Define your role. Who do you want to be? What do you want to work towards? Do you want to be a writer? Okay. Do you want to be a director? Do you want to be the cinematographer? Do you want to be a soundie? What do you want to do?